Hi, I'm Jack.
And I'm Max with two X's.
And that's the railroad. I built that track.
I just came from the West Valley track.
And we're ready for Young Life Club. I hope you are.
Woo!
7:03. Be there at the crossing.
Bring that knowledge.
Bring yourself, bring your friends, and let's see if you can make our track team. What's up, guys? Micah here. Been a while since I've updated everyone on my ministry happenings. And so I started my junior year at Whitworth in September. But before that even started, I had meetings with all of our leaders individually. And there was a leader retreat the first week classes began. And then we kicked off club, which is actually not my primary tool in ministry. I prefer to do contact work and meet in small groups and one-on-one with kids outside of club. But I really do love all of it and how it works together. But this year, outside of just weekly club meetings, I've gone to football games of all ages, cross country, lots of school lunches, and dance parties with kids on Lake Coeur d'Alene. In a more discipleship focus, I've had one-on-one times with kids. We've had small group times with kids. We've had a fall camp for middle schoolers. So it's been really busy and a lot, but really, really good. So I want to talk to you about just a few kids and things that I think you ought to know and maybe be praying for. So it starts with Tyler. Tyler's a kid. He's a sophomore at West Valley, one that I know very well. And we just started reading the Gospels together. Mark, starting with Mark, Matthew, Luke, and then John. One chapter a day, texting each other about it, if we see each other talking about it. But it's been good. I'm really trying to be graceful with if he misses a day, or I just give him my thoughts and let him do with it what he wants to do with it. So yeah, that's been good, but I would love prayer, how to keep going with that, and that the Lord works through that. And a couple other kids that I recently met this summer and actually went out to lunch with a couple of times to try to get to know them, have really tough situations, and their names are Bam, Devin, and Yang. And Bam and Devin are freshmen. Yang's a 7th grader. But Bam actually called me once and talked to me about how he'd been considering suicide lately, and so we had a conversation a little bit later in person about that and why all that happened. And then Yang, I actually just had a conversation with him recently where he ended up breaking down in tears and telling me how his parents don't spend money wisely, and so he doesn't have food at his house, and so he eats his school breakfast and school lunch every day, and that's all that he can count on. Devin doesn't have much financially either, never has a ride anywhere. His mom works at McDonald's, and they live in a really terrible motel. But these kids' eyes light up when they see me, or they come to club. They see me at the school lunch, they just get excited, and they get excited about anything related to wildlife or to young life. And so I pray that they find family and love through what we do, and that it becomes a part of who they are. One last kid, his name is Gabe. He is the type of kid who I love, because when I ask him, how are you doing? He doesn't just say, I'm good. He says, it's been okay, but I don't know, I'm really struggling with. And lately for him, a reoccurring theme is he really struggles with self-consciousness, and that kind of manifests itself through him feeling like he doesn't belong at all, and he just tries to impress people, and that kind of turns people off. And he also harbors anger with just the littlest things that people say to him, even if it's in a joking manner. So he has a really hard time with how people see him and how that impacts how he lives on an everyday basis. But he is a kid who went to camp. We had a one-on-one. It was really good. And he wants to know Jesus. And he answers questions and asks questions about Jesus. So we'll see where that goes. But I'm praying for him too, and his confidence, and how he might eventually be able to find confidence that Christ loves him and died for him. Last thing is I recently have received an unofficial kind of job offer / discussion of the potential of me being the full-time director of the ministry that I'm in right now. After I finish, my boss Brandon is considering stepping away into a different role, and that would open up a place for me to do that full-time. And that would be being a staff associate with Young Life, which is official Young Life staff position and training ground. and then also a part-time youth director with the church. So being paid enough for a full-time, which is little salary, but a full-time salary as someone directing a ministry. So that's on the table. I'll finish school in 14 months at the end of next winter. So it's something to think about, something to pray about. I'm not sure if that's the direction I want to go yet, but I'll weigh that with other options that I may have in the next few months or a year, and we'll see. But ministry is awesome. I love it. I think about it all the time when I'm in it, when I'm not in it. And I realize I need to study more. And I couldn't do it without you guys, though. I truly appreciate it, and I hope that some of the kids come to appreciate what you mean to my ministry. So, thank you. Sorry if this is too long. The whole point of the video was to not make you read 2 pages of a letter. But you guys are awesome. I couldn't do it without you. Peace, love, joy.